unicorns and rainbows.
And control.
Yes. Yes. And let's not talk about the spider that was on KTLA this morning from Australia that was going up a refrigerator carrying a dead mouse. It was that big.
This is their pizza rat, I hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, absolutely not. No.
It's spider rat.
Nope.
Except spiders carrying the rat to eat.
I have banned Australia from my house. So attention to all of the whole continent. You are not allowed in my house.
Well, there's some very nice people from Australia, including
they are probably great,
including my nephew's fiance.
I have no doubt they're amazing people.
Peter
they cannot
Wells,
come to my house.
for instance, day 6 just happened yesterday.
I have a good friend that's there, that's in Australia. She came here, did a taste test. Now I have to fumigate that room to make sure she didn't leave any eggs from her suitcase.
What's the drop bears you really have to worry about? They're they just drop out of nowhere.
The drop bears? Is that what you said?
Drop bears?
They just drop out of nowhere, like from the sky.
Wait! Like a black bear just all of a sudden just drops out in front of you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you over Slack, Tom, or to both of you.
I'm actually intrigued.
So today's episode may be slightly delayed as Lamarr and I teach each other about drop bears. Oh, they're like vicious-looking koalas.
Yes.
It's a hoax.
Yes,
it says right there in the first line.
I know. It's like a jackalope.
Imaginary animal.
You know, koalas are not really cute and cuddly. They have very sharp teeth and will attack you and eat you.
They're very mean animals.
So this is what people when Lamarr and I go to Australia and we're like, hey, is there anything to worry about here? They'll be like, oh, the drop bears, mate.
And you know what they're talking about.
I'll fall for it too.
No, they spend most of their time a little inebriated because apparently they get drunk off the leaves, the eucalyptus leaves.
The drop bears or real bears?
Koalas, actual koalas.
Actual koalas. Okay.
But koalas can be pretty nasty and they'll spit at you and hiss.
Yeah, they are actually mean. They're not cute.
On the other hand, I am voting koala this year. Didn't mean to get political.
Today's the last day to vote to register online for voting in California.
Register online in California, yeah.
I got to mail my thing in.
I do too. Like I finished voting last week, and so I can't go back and change it. But I haven't finished all the propositions. So I finished voting for all the offices. But man, do we have some? What have we got? Like a dozen propositions in the state, and then another half dozen for the city.
I have a friend that says he just goes by whatever the Los Angeles Times recommends.
I'll go by federal and state. I'm not sure if I should do this the civic ones.
I go to Ballotpedia and I look up each one.
Oh, you actually do? Oh my, you're one of those people.
I am.
Well, you are a researcher by nature, so of course.
Yeah, I guess it's just my thing.
Yeah.
Then I should put what I vote for so that everyone can use that to vote, and then multiply my influence.
There you go, and you can be an influencer on Vine, making $300,000 for
vote.
6 seconds.
I mean,
yeah,
that's not unethical, is it?
No,
of course not. All right, are we ready to do this show here? This here show?
I think so. We are ready.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Daily Tech News Show is powered by its audience, not outside organizations. To find out more, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, October 24th, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me in place of Ms. Veronica Belmont. Not that anyone could replace Veronica Belmont, but we're very happy to have an opportunity to bring Lamarr Wilson back on the show. Host of youtube.com/Lamarr Wilson, unboxer extraordinaire, and man about town.
Wow, that can I have that for my intro for my show?
Yeah, sure.
That was amazing.
You can clip that out. Creative Commons license, take it, run with it. Yeah. How's it going, Lamarr?
Yeah, going great. No one can replace Veronica, but I will just do my best to be a far, far, far less prettier version of her.
I think I feel the same way about myself. No, it's good to have you on. We got some great stuff to talk about. We're going to dig into the Internet of Things. I think on Friday we did a great job with Darren Kitchen of explaining the denial of service attack against Dyn and why that was bringing websites down. Over the weekend, you may have heard that it was attributed to a botnet that runs mostly on internet webcams, DVRs, smart TVs, stuff like that. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then Lamarr and I are going to go over like just how much this affects us, because you got a ton of this stuff in your house too, right?
Yeah, I've only just completed almost every bulb in my house and dropped Nest cams and things. So yeah, this will be an interesting discussion that I'm frantically looking forward to talking about.
And we'll go over some tips of things that you should do. Of course, we think there are things that the companies definitely should do, but there's steps you can take as well to protect yourself. Let's start off though with the top stories. IDC issued its report for Q3 2016 smartwatch shipments Monday. A total of 2.7 million units were shipped worldwide. That's down 51.6% from last year. Android Wear watches have been largely delayed until 2017, when Android Wear 2.0 will be released, so that's part of the problem. Apple's new watch didn't go on sale till September 16th, which is 2 weeks before the end of the quarter, so a large number of the Apple Watch sales didn't get counted yet. They'll get counted next time. Apple still was on top with 41.3% of the market share. Their numbers fell 71.6% year over year, and they still topped the charts. Garmin rose its shipments 324.2%.
Wow.
To take a 20.5% market share, good for second place. They do things like the Connect IQ and that Phoenix Chronos hiking watch. I don't know if you've seen those out there.
I've heard of the hiking watch, yes.
And then Samsung, Lenovo, and Pebble rounded out the top 5. Lenovo had a huge drop as well. So what do you think? That everybody's got an opinion of what's going on with wearables, whether it's just not a very big market, whether it's a market just waiting for its killer product. What do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm a mixed bag. I mean, I have an Apple Watch because, I'm an early adopter of stuff like this. But, I just look around at the average people. I don't see them having them on. I don't see them interested in it. No one's really buzzing or talking about it. And so I don't know, man. I think it's just something that in the tech sphere and in people who like early things, it's going to be one of those things that we enjoy. But I don't know how it's going to get to the mainstream. How do you convince mainstreamers to start wearing watches again when we finally got rid of the thing that's tethered on our wrist? Yeah.
Okay. Think about it. Like cameras, especially DSLR cameras, like really good cameras, were a hobbyist item. But you put them into smartphones, and suddenly everybody can take pictures, so people start caring a little more about photos. Mm-hmm. I don't think the same thing is happening, because here you have to add a second device. So this is still going to be a niche thing for people who want to do something that a smartwatch enables them to do. So far, really the only thing we've seen that is popular is fitness tracking or health monitoring, one of those two very related things.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to get the technology to add some more. Like the health is big, but you can only do your heart rate so much unless you actually have a trachycardia or whatever, however it's pronounced, problem. The average person doesn't need to track that much. But you start adding blood pressure and checking for your blood sugar, things like that. Then I can see a better use case for us to have something not like this all the time.
And Apple's leaning into that, so I think that's smart for them. I honestly, I think Garmin shooting in at number 2, partly on that hiking watch, the Phoenix Chronos, kind of points to the fact that right now, anyway, and maybe this will change, but right now you need to have a market who really loves your watch. And think about the places where you see watches for sale. They've been in high-end boutiques, which Apple tried to target at first. That didn't work as well. And they're in like REIs and camping goods stores. You see all kinds of watches for sale there. Yeah. So I think that's smart. And I think fitness, hiking, outdoorsy type things may be the initial places where this is going to grow, if it's going to grow.
Yeah, the staying at home playing games market like me, maybe not so much.
Yeah, not yet. I don't know. Maybe somebody will come up with a thing where everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I have to have the watch now because it allows me to blow up more aliens." That's something. Monday, Samsung announced customers in South Korea can trade in their Note 7 phones for a Galaxy S7, and if they pay half the price of the S7, they can then exchange it for a Samsung Galaxy S8 or a Samsung Galaxy Note 8. When those arrive in 2017. So part of this is the hey, we're making a more aggressive move in South Korea to get people to stick with Samsung. But the other half is they are definitely not kidding when they say we're not going to retire the Note brand. We're going to have a Note 8.
Yeah, that's very brave of them because I kind of feel like they have to, just to keep it going. But and doing South Korea is smart because that's their home, like that, like they just shore up
Yeah.
their constituency, so to speak, first, and then move that off for here. But do you feel like people have lost their like when you hear Samsung now, is the luster? Is the luster gone here?
I don't think the luster's gone from Samsung entirely. I do think they're the butt of a lot of jokes right now. Even the president made a joke about exploding phones the other day. However, I I think it is easy to exaggerate the sticking quality of a brand being seen as a joke. For instance, Tylenol. Do you remember when Tylenol was found to have I can't remember the poison. Arsenic? Was it arsenic? No, I don't think it was arsenic. But there was some poison that people had slipped into Tylenol bottles. For years, that was a joke. Not a very
Really?
funny one sometimes. But,
Okay.
like, ooh, Tylenol, you got to be careful with that. Tylenol's fine. People take Tylenol all the time. There's another entirely unrelated controversy regarding acetaminophen that doesn't have to do specifically with Tylenol, but Tylenol itself recovered from that, and that was poisoning of people. So I feel like we tend to exaggerate how bad this can be. I have said that I think they should drop the note line, but then the number of confusion, the amount of confusion over what the name of the phone actually is. I took a snap of I actually didn't take a snap. I missed it. There was a picture of a sign going into LAX this weekend that said Samsung Galaxy 7's not allowed.
Yeah, I saw your
like-
picture of that. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's not okay. So maybe the Note brand is going to be fine. It's just Samsung just has to weather through all this.
Yeah. And by the way, you're looking for cyanide. Cyanide is the word you were looking for.
Cyanide.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. That's not a thing you want in your Tylenol.
No, not at all.
Saturday, AT&T agreed to acquire Time Warner for $85.4 billion. We talked about this a bit on day 6. Peter Wells talked about it. We'll talk about it quite a bit on Cord Killers today with Brian Brushwood. But the deal is expected to close by the end of 2017. A lot of folks worried about AT&T controlling DirecTV and wireless and internet and a big content provider that has HBO and CNN and the TNTs and all of that. AT&T CEO Randall Stevenson said Monday that DirecTV's over-the-top service will launch in November, so before this thing is going to close. They will launch their over-the-top service. But he did say it'll be at a radically lower price than competing services.
And isn't this amazing? I was just talking to a friend about 2 days ago when this dropped, or maybe the day it dropped, and it's like AT&T. I mean, we remember this Ma Bell, then the Singular thing they went into, and then DSL, which they get teased for because it's like pretty crappy. They still hang around, man. It's amazing, and now they're about to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, provider of multiple services, and that's a little scary to me. I don't know. Either it's a great story about a company having stickiness and persevering through the years, or it's a snake that won't die and it keeps slithering back. I don't know which one is the better story.
Yeah, there's a lot of angles you can take on this. Peter took a couple of them yesterday. I see a lot of people today talking about AT&T reassembling itself. It's like, dude, that happened a while back. Lamarr just mentioned, like, they used to, they took over Singular and Pacific Bell and Southwestern Bell. So AT&T has been reassembled for quite a long time. It's been basically AT&T and Verizon as a duopoly. What's interesting is to see all these companies, Comcast acquiring NBC Universal, Verizon acquiring AOL, and now in the process of acquiring Yahoo, and AT&T acquiring DirecTV, and now in the process of acquiring Time Warner. What you see is all of them saying, we don't want to be dumb pipes because you can't make money on dumb pipes. So we need to be in other businesses. We need to branch out. The question is, and I think this is where the fear comes in, is what do they do with those media properties to leverage their pipes? So far, Comcast hasn't done anything terribly horrible because there were a lot of restrictions put on them. There's a question whether the same restrictions could be put on AT&T, though, because one of the problems with Comcast is they were picking up some NBC-owned television stations. So the FCC could come in and put qualifications. Time Warner only owns one broadcast station in Atlanta. If they were to sell that off prior to the close of the sale, then it's questionable whether the FCC could even regulate them, at which point then it becomes whether FCC can say, well, we need to regulate you anyway because we regulate you as a telecom.
Now, another question I had, do you think all of these conglomerates and getting together is in response to this one company called YouTube? Do you think it's that dangerous of all these new, we'll talk about influencers later, but all these new content that's taking eyeballs away from
I don't
traditional
know if
TV.
it's just YouTube, but YouTube is certainly one of the factors. It's multiple sites like that in aggregate stealing eyeballs away, and yeah, that's why AT&T went to war, as did NBC, Fox, and ABC Disney with YouTube over this. That's why we have Hulu, right? Is they were going to war against YouTube, and now we're seeing them kind of say, well, if we can't beat them, join them. Let's just buy media companies to be able to control the content that goes out there. But again, the big question is, how much are they allowed to control this sort of thing? Will this new DirecTV over-the-top service, forget about Time Warner, will this new DirecTV over-the-top service actually be free or not count against the data of people who get their internet from AT&T? And once they get Time Warner, could they do the same thing for things like HBO Now?
Now, does that get into those? Is this fair? With I forgot what that's called. What is that called? The
net neutrality stuff.
Net neutrality,
zero rating in this case. Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly would like to see a path where these companies spin their telecoms out. It's going to be a fight for them to still try to figure out, like, maybe we could squeeze some money out of it by forcing our content down the pipes, and then we're not just dumb pipes anymore.
Right.
But what I hope happens is that companies who are fine running a commodity business that provides access end up taking over these sorts of things, and AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, they all end up just being media companies.
Which I think is where they're going. I mean, Verizon has the Go 90. I mean, they're all trying. NBC Universal just put another $20 million into BuzzFeed today. Or I'm not sure the exact amount. $200 million. Excuse me. I see that pattern slowly happening. I think that's what's down the line.
Apple released iOS 10.1, which fixes a malicious JPEG vulnerability. So everyone who has an iPhone should get it anyway. But it also allows iPhone 7 Plus users to take photos in what Apple calls portrait mode. Now, you may think that's just holding your phone upright instead of in landscape mode, but that's not what they mean. They mean a process where it combines data from the Plus's two cameras, because the iPhone 7 Plus has two cameras, to calculate depth of field and then deliver a background blur that's similar to what a mirrorless camera or a DSLR can do. It's called the bokeh or the bokeh effect. Apple also updated macOS Sierra to automatically filter those 7 Plus photos into a special album. watchOS 3.1 got an update to replay effects in messages, and tvOS got a stability update. So all the OSs got an update today. But the one thing everybody's looking at and playing with, if they have the right phone, is this bokeh effect on the iPhone 7 Plus camera.
Yeah, I'm excited, Trey. You said you got to try it. I saw my friend Justine just put a picture on Twitter of her dog, and it looked fantastic. So I'm kind of excited.
Just so you know, when I put a picture of my dog with the effect on Twitter, I hadn't seen Justine yet. So I wasn't trying to rip her off.
Understood, of course. But so you did a picture of your dog. That's what
did. Totally. No, that's what everybody's going to do, I think.
Okay. I can't wait to see it then.
You go to twitter.com/AceDetect or go to the Daily Tech News Show Facebook page, and you can find them. In fact, on the Facebook page, I actually did a side-by-side, because when it takes the picture, it'll give you the one with the effect, and it will keep an original image without the effect. So
really?
You can use that if you want.
And
it's an interesting... Awesome. With the picture of my dog Sawyer that I put up on Facebook, it's really interesting because the bokeh effect on the image with the depth looks really cool. You're like, oh, wow, that's a much better picture than I should be able to take, because I know nothing about photography. But it really makes him pop out. However, when you compare it to the original, the blur in the background is not that much. It doesn't take that much to make that effect pop out.
Okay. This is. Well, I just think his dog is great. I'm sorry. I'll look at yours too. But yeah,
I'm sure I just think's dog is awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Your expression is hilarious.
I did it too.
Yeah.
No, I think this. I was a little skeptical about this sort of thing. Like, okay, so you're doing it all in process. This is definitely not going to be as good as a DSLR, and I'm sure it's not as good as a mirrorless camera would be. But hey, dummy like me took a picture that looked halfway decent. So
yeah, and remember, most of these photos are. I mean, 99% of people's photos are going on the internet. They're not being made into posters or anything. So, I'm not saying the days of the DSLR are over, but if you could trick the camera and eye to make it think it's the same thing, I mean, then it works on Instagram. It works.
Here, now you're gonna make me. I'm sorry, audio people. You can go find this on twitter.com/acedetect. But I have to make sure that Lamarr sees Sawyer.
Oh,
see with the little blur back there in the background?
I do see it. Yours is very subtle. Yeah.
Yeah. But it pops. It pops his head out. Not in a bad way.
Yeah. Okay. Yours is officially better than I Just Dance.
No, you didn't have to say that.
I like Sawyer. You know that.
Oh, Sawyer's a good kid.
Yeah.
I like that too. All right. Starting Wednesday, October 26th through November 1st, Pokemon Go will run its first in-game event. Halloween-related monsters like Haunter will show up. They also promise more Zubats. Like, we need that, if anybody plays.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. And then players will earn candy at a faster rate. You get double the reward for transferring your excess Pokemon to the professor. So you get more candy.
Yeah. I guess this is good to, they've been losing, people playing. So if they do small events like this, it's probably a good idea. It'd be nice if it was ready on the watch. We were talking about the watches earlier. That's one of the use cases of having the Pokemon Go on the watch. But that would have been nice to have something ready by Halloween, but it just didn't work out.
And this is the other thing people are looking at this and saying is Pokemon hasn't done anything to lure people back into the game if they fell off. And they've had a huge fall off, as you would expect from a game that skyrocketed so high.
And during the summer too. Right.
Yeah. Is this the kind of thing? Like it's probably going to make me play a little more. I play maybe once a week these days, but I don't know this is going to pull a lot of people back in.
This will pull me in to check it out just because there's a little bit more buzz, more friends are playing it. It'll die down again. Maybe they'll do a Thanksgiving one. We'll get back into that. Yeah. So I think it'll be in stages, as any mobile game should be.
And then finally, Russian site tjournal.ru shows some screenshots of a live streaming function in Instagram stories. So the report shows a big red button that reads Go Insta. You click that and it leads you to a live stream, a la Periscope or Facebook Live. Report said a user discovered the live button while running a beta version of Instagram on Android. Now, we haven't got any comment on Instagram about this. The Verge reported it because The Verge says, we've been hearing people saying they were going to do this, so it makes sense that this might have actually happened. It's a little shaky whether this is for sure or not, but it does sound like Instagram would be working on a live streaming service, which when Instagram Stories first launched, I thought, well, that's weird for Instagram. Now I'm totally used to it. I guess I can get used to a live streaming service too. Yeah,
I felt the same way you did, and now I don't use Snapchat anymore. I use Stories, and I'm actually going to be increasing my use for kind of like a mini vlog experience throughout the day. But see, I'm gonna tell you, man, I have not been excited. I went to Facebook to test live 4 or 5 months ago with their app. I just wasn't excited about it. I've played with Periscope, but I'm gonna tell you, the demographic that I cater to, they're all in Instagram, and being able to reach them that way, just talk to them 15 minutes, say, hey, I'm about to do my video, blah, 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 or so here's some behind the scenes. I tell you, this is really appealing for this app.
It's all about ease of use. So if you're already in Instagram, then that's going to be easy because you just go right to the thing you're already using. If your audience is in Instagram, obviously that's going to be good too. That's one of the reasons Periscope, I think, got an advantage on Meerkat was you had the Twitter audience more built in. But of course, Facebook has the biggest audience. Everybody uses Facebook.
Yes.
What you're saying is the audience you need to reach may use Facebook, but they don't really use it for that.
Correct. Correct. So, it depends on your demo, but Instagram is kind of where my core is, and so I saw this, was very, very exciting. Anything to keep that influencer money flowing to us, right?
Yeah. Well, you were saying that 2020 this week on CBS had a story about influencers and how that industry is blooming.
Yeah. They talk to Viners, Snapchatters, and people who do 6-second videos, and was talking about how 1 6-second video can make some of them $200,000-$300,000, and people are like, isn't that too much? And the industry is actually saying, no, it's actually too little, because we don't know what this is so new. We don't know what these people are actually worth, because they have such influence on their audience, and so we may be seeing even more money flowing in. From companies like Dunkin' Donuts, or they were just different sandwich companies. They were doing promotions, but it was nice to see influencers get some recognition, but then to get insight on how powerful they really are and how seriously the industry is taking them.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. To not just go into influencers as like, is this ruining our industry, which is usually the take I see in mainstream outlets, but more of a like, what is this industry, and what is proper compensation, and what are the inner workings of it. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks to everybody who participates in our subreddit. You can submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. I'm going to get to our message of the day off the top, because we're launching our main discussion off of it. Bruce from Peterborough, Canada, was one of the people who first pointed out that security analysts confirmed that Friday's denial of service attack on Dyn was launched using Internet of Things devices infected with the Mirai malware. That's Mirai. And Bruce said, I have to share this tweet from Jeff Jarmock. In a relatively short time, we've taken a system built to resist destruction by nuclear weapons and made it vulnerable to toasters. So, of course, the internet, one of the ideas behind the internet was, let's have redundant servers so that if one gets taken out, the communication system stays online. Absolutely. And yes, now smart toasters are bringing down the infrastructure. And, of course, what he's talking about is the fact that the Mirai botnet runs on Internet of Things devices, webcams, thermostats, light bulbs, DVRs, smart TVs. And in fact, Chinese manufacturer Hongshu Zhongmei Technology knows that its products were exploited in the distributed denial of service attack Friday. They said the main issue was users not changing default passwords, mostly on internet-connected webcams. The company is going to recall some of its earlier products and issue patches for older products by April. So they're taking some steps to say, all right, we want to really try to force people to pay attention to this and update the firmware and maybe change those default passwords. But that is something that it's not too little too late, but wow, you wish you would have done that from the beginning, don't you?
Yeah. Now let me ask you just from a little bit different point of view. Now, let's say I'm the regular consumer who shouldn't have to think about this, right? I mean, we shouldn't have to think about this. I'm assuming the legit companies like Philips Hue, which I use, what was it? The Nest. I was just on the phone with Nest Labs today talking to them about something. Now, those kind of things either have a QR code or they have a button you have to press. There's something because that's what they sold us on. The security is in your house. Unless someone is physically in your house and can access that, you're safe. And are you saying now that that is not the case? Well,
it depends on the device. Like you say, some devices are better at this than others. Nest, for instance, forces you to pick a password. So that's good. There's not a default password on your Nest thermostat that could just be out there, and if you don't change it, it could immediately be accessed and compromised at the same time.
Like a router.
You are, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your Nest must connect to a cloud service. And so you are at the mercy of that cloud service being secure and those connections being secure. Now, granted, that's also true when you connect to your bank or anything else. So there's a certain amount of overreaction you can have against it. But the safest thing for an Internet of Things device is for it not to reach out on the internet. So it is riskier to use something like the Nest, which requires you to reach out on the internet. Whereas a Philips bulb, you can set it to operate remotely, or you can set it to just operate within the house and never have it reach out to the internet at all, and that's less risky.
Okay, because that was my fear. I'm like, literally, I just finished putting 7 more Hue bulbs in this weekend, and so I have the whole house is Hue. I have Nest cams. I have some Nest products coming, and I was like, Lord, if somebody could like trap me in here with flashing lights and make me have a seizure and freeze me to death, and I want to make sure.
Yeah.
So what would I have to do as a consumer to feel safer on this?
First thing to do is make sure you update your firmware. Now, companies, when I give these tips out, it's not because I think it's your responsibility. It's more in your best interest to say, look, you don't want anybody hacked your thing. You may never notice that your thing got hacked, but then again, now you have a malicious entity in your network, and you don't want that. Even if they're just running a botnet that never affects you, you don't want other people in your network. So keep your firmware updated. It's best if the company forces these firmware updates, but not all of them do. So at least for now, it's on you to make sure to just check every so often. Did the bulbs all get their firmware update? Did my router get its firmware update? Did my smart TV get its firmware update? It's kind of a pain.
So you should,
but it's the first line of defense.
So you should still like get those emails from those companies just to make sure, like stay on their list. Or
go into the settings every so often and do a check for update. Usually there'll be some kind of option for that, and make sure that it got updated. With these kind of updates, if you're not the kind of person who wants to bother with that and you can turn on an automatically update firmware, you absolutely should do that so that you don't miss one. The other thing is, if you're setting these up, make sure you change the default password. If it never asks you to change a password, go find where the password is and change it. Because that's the biggest vector for Mirai, was finding all these webcams that were set up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever the default password was, and all they had the same password on every camera out there.
That's scary. That's actually, for cameras, very scary.
Yeah, and scary for us because we don't want to be looked at. Well, the fact is, the Mirai botnet doesn't even look at the pictures. Well, maybe some operators do, I don't know, but that's not what it's meant to do. They just want to use the server that's on that camera to send out bot traffic. And you don't want to, again, you don't want that in your network. Disable remote login options. Now, this is a more controversial one. For instance, with a Nest, it really won't work if you do that. So that's a personal decision. But really, the way I would phrase it is, if you don't need to access it from outside your house, turn it off.
So if I don't need to warm my toast while I'm in Florida for vacation, I should probably not have that on. Okay.
Don't let that thing access the internet unless it absolutely has to. Don't let that thing be accessible from the internet unless it absolutely has to.
Okay, these are good tips.
Yeah, I mentioned update your router's firmware, but also look at your security settings. Make sure your Wi-Fi encryption is strong, preferably WPA or WPA2, and you want to make sure you have WPS disabled.
That's a different approach. Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you've got good connection there. Your router's administration page should not be accessible on the internet. So, maybe go on your phone's LTE connection or 3G connection and try to get to your router. If you can, that's bad. You should only be able to get to it from within your network.
Are we in my house right now? I'm looking at this Okay, I thought that was just a picture. It looked like you were all looking at my house right there.
Yeah, we accessed your camera.
I was like, wait a minute. I actually got a little nervous for a second.
Yeah.
That looked a little familiar.
And the other thing is make sure you've got a firewall on your router. Most modern routers will set up a firewall automatically. Don't punch holes within them unless you absolutely know what you're doing. Do port forwarding. In fact, a lot of Internet of Things devices will say, hey, do you want me to make a change so that I can access the internet? Just say no unless you really understand what it's asking for. Those would be my tips.
These are excellent tips. And I mean, and these items are coming down in price. They're becoming, more and more houses. And it's good to know these things because we think, it's just within my local internet and my local network. This can't possibly cause a problem until it does.
And Stoic Squirrel asks the $100 million question. How would you know if your device is compromised? The average person is not going to notice. So you're going to have to do some detection to see if that bulb or that webcam is sending out packets when it shouldn't be. And that's something that a lot of folks in our audience might be willing to do and monitor that traffic. But most people won't. So you just need to update that firmware. And if you do, a lot of times that alone will get rid of it, but you don't really know for sure.
So we haven't got to the point where someone is taking over someone's home.
No. In fact, in some ways, the idea of them going in and like turning your thermostat way up and turning your lights on and off is not something they want to do because they don't want you to notice they're in there. They want to use those devices to send traffic for a denial of service attack or send spam.
It's not to peep in on people.
Yeah.
It's
so
for a bigger purpose.
They really, I mean, not to say that there aren't people out there who also want to do those things or merry pranksters that want to turn your lights on and off and stuff.
Right.
But the majority of the people who are running this Mirai botnet, they don't want to call attention to themselves. They just want to continue to use your bandwidth and your machine to operate their botnet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And a couple of tips in here. Schnago points out, just check your SNMP log for unusual traffic from your camera. If you know what that is and you know how to do that, that's one way to check. And Tinvec says, like at home, I don't have SSH port 22 access enabled, so all possibility of attacks on my home network from that port are simply gone. So those are some more good tips from the chat realm. Thank you, guys.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
And if you want to know a little bit more about how those denial of service attacks were conducted, we talked with Darren Kitchen about that last Friday. It's in the main discussion, and we have a link that takes you directly to that discussion in today's show notes. All right. Looking for a UK perspective on the tech, we have a good recommendation. Check out Text Message. It's TECH, Text Message, with Nate Langston at yeah, see, you get it? Text, like text, but text. It's at techpodcast.uk. What's on this episode this week, Nate?
Hey, thanks, Tom. And hey, guess what? Amazon may be launching a broadband service, but in the UK, not the US. Why? Well, in the UK, if you build a massive national telecoms network, you have to let your competitors use it and resell it as their own product. If you're BT, that is. It looks like that's what Amazon might be up to. If you're curious, it's our top story this week on Text Message at techpodcast.uk. Hopefully see you over there.
Thank you, Nate. And of course, you can hear what's been on the previous week of Daily Tech News Show by listening to Text Message as well. It's a nice little summary that he lets me do for him. And this was fantastic, Lamarr Wilson. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was a lovely show.
I enjoyed it. Well, I hope we've made you feel a little more confident about your smart home.
Yeah, no, I think I've done all the right things for myself. I make sure those passwords are changed. But and I hate to use the word influencer, but I am. I'm showcasing these items and getting people excited and getting them to buy it. So I want to make sure my audience, make sure they do the safe things as well as I'm doing. So this is a good message for me to push through my videos in the future. So
yeah, not only to your audience, but to the companies, and be able to like reward those companies that have good practices, to say like, hey, you know what, these guys have set it up right. They don't want you to be part of a botnet.
Exactly.
Yeah. The more we can get average people asking that question when they buy a smart device, like, wait a minute, is this going to make me part of a botnet? The more those companies are going to stop doing things like default passwords and stop making it too easy to be insecure.
Absolutely.
Well, if you would like to find out more about Lamarr Wilson and those things that he is talking to his audience about, become one of his audience. Go subscribe.
Yes, please. YouTube.com/Lamarr Wilson. Right now, we're doing daily videos, showcasing products, getting ready for the holiday. And I have a specific playlist that has all of my smart home and connected devices, like my Roomba vacuum, which is on the internet. I have to look into that. I can access that on my phone anywhere. I don't want anybody accessing my vacuum's data.
Yeah, man, that would suck.
I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. That was good.
YouTube.com/Lamarr Wilson. There's 2 R's in Lamarr Wilson. Go there and subscribe. Check out that playlist. That's a cool playlist idea.
Yeah, thank you. You're good. You're good, man. I swear.
You're
wits. You're wit.
Stop. You're the witty one. I'm just the news guy. Check out our Patreon as well, patreon.com/DTNS. It's the main way we support the show. There's all kinds of ways to support the show. If Patreon isn't your thing, go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. But I want to give a big welcome to Austin J. Somadurov, Madan Mathavan, and Father Cadden And apologies for pronouncing your names all wrong, probably. But thank you for becoming new patrons today, joining all the folks who are already supporting us. Big thanks to all of you at patreon.com/DTNS. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We're live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Come join us at alphageekradio.com or diamondclub.tv. And, of course, our website is dailytechnewsshow.com. Back tomorrow with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Nicely done.
Very nice.
The Internet of Things That Suck is now one of the titles.
I was like, you were so fast with it that it caught me off guard.
Oh, as soon as you said Roomba, I was like, oh, I know where I'm going next.
I was like, just amazing.
That's good. That was a good conversation.
Yeah. And it's good education for me. Like I'm so glad we covered that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm constantly, I'm really heavy into it now, and as I'm talking about it, I want to make sure I pass it on to everybody's like, hey, just get stuff. It doesn't matter. It actually does matter.
Right. No, you could actually be a force for good. That's good. That's awesome.
A force for titles, even.
Yes. What do we got?
The Internet is toast. My favorite. Get
That's
it?
good. Yeah.
Get it.
The
The
toasters.
DDoS is coming from inside the house.
Mm-hmm. That's good too.
Tom's Internet of Things tips. Just say no. The watch stops here. NBA on TNT by AT&T. Toasters bring down the web. Did my bulbs get their security update? Internet of Things is casting a bad light bulb. Don't let your toaster use the internet. Where are the wearables? One to stream them all. Smart homes, dumb people. That's iJustine.
Oh, someone did.
now I gotta-
Throw that one in there.
Was that on Twitter or Facebook where I just seen?
It was on Twitter. She might have thrown it on Facebook too, but I just noticed it on Twitter.
Getting your robot vacuum hacked sucks. Just,
That's really funny though. It's just
the
like,
Internet
I
is
don't know.
toast is winning by a very wide margin.
The Internet is toast.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. Oh God, yeah.
That was the first one.
Well, I was editing something in my video. Sorry, it's about to go live, so I didn't hear it.
You're multitasking? That's amazing.
Yeah. I was supposed to be up at 2, and I was like, "Oops." Okay, let me get this up.
The Internet is toast. I'm good with that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's really funny.
The Internet is for toast.
Buttered toast with marmalade.
Toast.
I have to say, iJustine has a very cute dog picture there. It's a good example of the depth too.
Yes, but your dog is amazing.
Well, she's got a different kind of dog. He's a little poodle-y looking guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, but his hair way too short.
He's a little fluff ball.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked that.
Yes, we don't want Justine to think we don't like her dog.
No, of course not.
It was just the first picture. Like I'm talking to you, and it flew through the feed. I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it just it landed right then.
Yeah. All right, my video is public now.
Nice.
It's a nice tech video about taste testing s'mores Chips Ahoy. That really fits the show.
Yeah.
Chips Ahoy. I like them. I used to like him. I don't like him anymore.
I don't like, and I said this in the videos, I'm very honest about it. I don't like chewy Chips Ahoy at all. And that's what these are, but they're s'mores. But I tolerated it because the s'mores was so good that it made me forget about the aftertaste that chewy Chips Ahoy likes to have.
Is the dough chewy, or is it just the chocolate that makes it?
The dough is chewy.
Oh.
They artificially do that, to make they make it seem like they're home baked. But it's a weird aftertaste on them, and I don't.
They all Chips Ahoy, like ever since the '90s, have had a weird taste to me. Like they do something. It's even more chemically than like baking powder.
I don't see a whole lot of the really good chewiness in store-bought cookies. Like there's what are the ones those organic ones? There's these organic ones that are okay, but the problem is if they don't use less than natural means to achieve their
they'll still be
chewiness,
hard.
they just fall apart. They're just crumbly. They're not really chewy.
I get the I just stick with Mother's. They're not chewy, they're crunchy, and they're fine.
Yeah, but I can only ever find the raisin one.
Does Mother make the iced oatmeal? Is that the brand?
But I don't like those. I only like their chocolate chip.
Okay, when you get to LA, we're gonna have to fight.
That's fine.
Because that's unacceptable.
I like the iced oatmeal ones too, but I never see the chocolate chip ones at all. I don't know where you get those.
Supermarkets are a lot like Hallmark stores. They stock their products based on very detailed demographic data for the neighborhoods that they support.
Yeah, that's why I go to the Ralph's on Olympic instead of the Ralph's on National.
More your kind of people,
I guess.
So I was just talking to Tay Sunday about this. Like that's actually a thing. Like are there different prices in different routes, or based on where the neighborhood? I didn't
price
realize
and
that.
different selection. So like the national one actually will have cheaper things sometimes, but their selection is really limited.
I thought they had to have the same price because of the sales papers. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Maybe I just feel like it's cheaper because it's all cheaper stuff. I don't know.
No, you're probably right. The sales probably are the same, but they probably do have, maybe because of loss prevention or something. They raised the prices. They did that in Chicago. I take it back. I do know this. And in bad neighborhoods, they will raise the price of coffee and some things that would get stolen.
Yeah, to make up for the price.
Yeah. So you would go to the nice neighborhood.
Neither one of them are likely to be. I mean, the one on National is actually close to the freeway. So if they were going to get people shoplifting, I feel like it'd be more opportunists like that. But their prices are lower. I don't know what it is.
I'm going to hate grocery shopping after I move.
Well, here's the thing. I would stop going to the National Ralph's because there were some things that I could only get at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. Then I discovered they had both those things for a lot cheaper at Ralph's on Olympic.
I was going to say, have you turned into a Whole Foods buyer?
Oh, I almost did, and I almost went broke. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I couldn't keep it up.
Because I have friends like, it's not that expensive. You just find the right things. I'm like, I went there one day. I bought 3 or 4 things like juice and a couple of things of fruit on it. It was a little bag like this, just $40, and I'm just not even exaggerating. It was just, I was like, what did I just buy?
I will only buy certain items at Whole Foods, and they're like less than 10 items.
Is it their in-house items?
No, they stock it's like their vitamins. Like they carry vitamins that Trader Joe's and supermarkets generally don't have. I would have to order it online. But that's it.
I would get like some of their whatever their in-house brand is, and those prices wouldn't be awful. But compared to the in-house brands elsewhere, they weren't cheap.
Was it like 360 or that one?
Yeah, something like that.
Something about a circle.
Yeah,
I guess
it's a number like that. Yeah.
I'll take it back. I like their donuts. I like their organic or their vegan donuts. It's a great lie. I tell myself that I'm doing something healthy by jumping on one of their
vegan donuts, so it's healthy.
Exactly. I mean, sugar is vegan.
It's just vegetable fat.
Yeah, Oreos are also vegan, so get some perspective.
Numinos are.
I actually prefer Numinos too,
really
and I get those at Safeway. But
I've never heard of Numinos actually.
So Paul Newman, besides being an actor, part-time martial artist, practitioner, and race car driver, was also being into his own food products, like growing stuff. So
I had a salad dressing before. Yeah.
So
I like
he has
his tomato
Numinos,
sauce actually,
which are basically Fig Newtons, except they follow the Paul Newman philosophy of like no additives, all natural. And I actually prefer the taste of Numinos to Fig Newtons. They taste more like figs.
Wait, I'm talking about Newman O's, which are the Oreos.
Oh no, not the Sorry.
talking about
Oh,
Fig
that-
Newman.
that's you really
Numinos.
confusing
Actually, I
me.
prefer the Numinos to Oreos because I don't like the Oreo. What do you call it? The fluff.
It's Fig Newmans that are the.
Yes.
Fig-
Wait,
You know why? It's 'cause we
are you
buy-
a troll? Are you trolling me right now?
No, I'm
No.
not. Those are real
I
names.
mean, oh, 'cause I'm sitting there like they're playing a joke on me again. There's
Yeah.
no way.
I mean-
His name Newman O's.
Newman
That sounds
O's.
like a Seinfeld episode
Newman
where
and Fig
Newman
O's.
is eating a bunch of Oreos.
And then
This is-
Saccaroni was the name of the Italian.
Okay, you know what?
Pasta
That's
sauce.
I'm done.
No, it's
No.
real. Look it up.
The Numinos are good, and for this one very
I
important
got it.
reason for me is that compared to Oreos,
All right.
not Fig Newmans, Numinos don't hurt my teeth. Like for some reason, Oreos have gained 300% more sugar, and so when I chew into them, they actually hurt my teeth. Like it's just so much sugar. But if I eat a Numino, I don't have that problem.
These are real. I've
Yes!
never seen these.
Well, you have missed out on a good portion of your life.
And then Fig Newmans, you were telling the truth.
I'm not. I wasn't joking.
Why do you think we're like pulling one over your eyes?
Because of the vacuum thing, I can't recover from that.
Saccaroni too.
Wait. Okay.
It's pasta
I'm looking at all the snacks. So he has Numinos and family recipe cookies. Okay. I've never seen these packages. I am not even joking. I've seen Newman's salad dressing. I've seen the pasta thing that you mentioned. I actually think I like that one too. But I have not seen these snacks. And now these are only at Whole Foods.
No, you can get. I get them at Ralph's. Both
Hey,
Ralphs.
I get them at Safeway. So
I must be. I'm completely out of the loop here.
They're always in a
Now-
white package.
yeah.
Now Safeway here would be Vaughn's, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll still have your store.
Hopefully. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a change.
I switched from Safeway to Ralph's when I moved, though.
Vaughn's
the
is
card.
closer to where I live, so I just go there. But I do like the way Ralph's is laid out better.
Wait a minute, they have strawberry Fig Newmans? Oh, I gotta buy those.
Wait, ginger O's?
Oh, those are good too. Those are
Oh my
ginger
God.
snap-ish tasting.
I always
Oreo.
learn something on this show.
See?
That's nothing to do with tech.
So educational.
It's like, wait a minute.
Even after, I mean, he's literally carving out his own food empire posthumously, which
Yeah.
is very rare for.
I mean, it was pretty good. It was going pretty well even before he passed away. But
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but
yeah,
it got,
I thought it was probably going to fall apart afterwards, and it hasn't.
I always thought it would have remained niche to like the dressing and a few other things, but they've literally expanded the product category. Like I don't remember ever seeing a Newman's pizza, but they have one.
Newman O's Pizza?
Not Newman's own OWN.
I was like, is
I
it
wish-
pizza
I wish
with
I could-
Oreos on it?
I wish I could be in I can't get in the chat right now, but it's like I wonder if they're like going crazy. So like, how do you not know? How have you not tasted these? Are they
Oh,
They're
wait,
just
also
saying
have-
things like Daily Snack News Show and Lamarr has seen the light.
Wait, okay, so get this. I did not know they had this. So Newman's Own, which is the brand, Newman's Own,
Right.
they do their own line of licorice. They do black licorice, pomegranate licorice, sour apple licorice, sour cherry, sour mango, sour strawberry, and strawberry. Oh. I gotta try the mango.
Yeah, everybody, did you see that freeze, or was that just on my end?
No, I think everyone was just waiting for me to finish. I think, right? Can you hear me, Tom?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking about licorice.
Okay, so he has beverages. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm at a site, and I'm overwhelmed right now.
Yeah, barbecue.
Like what are hermits?
Well, hermits are old people generally who live outside of the public eye.
Okay. Yeah, okay. See.
Appreciate that.
Well,
Skillet meals.
this is probably for old people. It's a soft cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even have to put it in my teeth.
Only old people would know who Carl Newman is. No offense, guys.
No,
It's
that's
like,
I'm old.
honestly don't know what I don't know what he's did. Like
He did movies. He did
See?
movies.
He did
Yeah,
the
I know.
Sting.
He
And,
did. Wasn't he in Bullet? Wasn't that him
HUD.
in Bullet? The Queen.
I've had his virgin lemonade. It's good.
Well, I had his adult lemonade, which is after it's virgined. Out.
Wow.
Newman.
It's a hard hitter. It's just like what's the movie where they cut off parking meters at the top? Cool Hand Luke.
Oh yeah, Cool Hand Luke's probably the most famous.
So that's why don't they have their own line of eggs?
He was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Well, he was one of them. He wasn't both of them.
He was in it. Yes.
Yes. He was both characters.
He was Doc Hudson in Cars. This is his last role.
Aw. How old was he at that time? 90? He lived a long time.
He did, because he ate all that healthy food.
He basically he opened his pantry to the world.
He was 81 when he did Cars voice.
So he must have been 85 when he passed away.
Yeah.
And
He was in the Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just reading.
He was a student of Bruce Lee's, supposedly.
One of the greatest.
Come on,
roles,
are you serious?
One of his greatest roles was Slapshot.
Wait,
The movie
what?
Slapshot. He was Reg Dunlop.
Yeah, friendship of Steve McQueen and Bruce Lee.
You all are so old. What time are you two going to Denny's tonight?
4:00. Right when it opens. Right when the early bird special kicks in.
You know, I've only
Because Tom, you do get up early. I know. I bet you are a 4 a.m. person.
No, gosh, no. I did. I got up at 6:30 today because I had to do something early. Usually, I don't get up before 7, but I know that's still early. I wake up at 5 with the birds.
There's only one Denny's I've ever found adequate to like it tasted good, and that was the Denny's in downtown LA.
Really?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Was that IHOP?
No, it was just the one I went to was a Denny's.
I actually used to go to the Denny's in Champaign-Urbana when I was in college, out by the mall, and it was pretty good.
My
college student, everything is good.
That's kind of true.
My
Especially
litmus
at
test
3 in the morning.
Litmus test is always eggs. Eggs are something very easy to do, but you're easy to screw up.
I could eat 50 eggs.
So
That's
many.
a Paul Newman line from Cool Hand Luke. See, bringing it all back.
Oh man. Hey, would you all be mad if I said like I'm not a big pancake person?
No, I'm.
Is that weird? Like I prefer waffle over.
I prefer waffles too, actually.
Yeah. I was just thinking about Denny's. So when they offer like you get an omelet and they're like, you want pancakes with it? I'm like, no.
I don't have anything against pancakes, and very occasionally I'm in the mood for pancakes, but I'll always eat a waffle.
They need too much syrup.
Yeah, and I like the waffle has its syrup containment system built right in.
Right. Yes. Okay, you understand me.
Yeah.
So did your mom make pancakes when you were kids?
Yes.
Like from the mix, right?
Yep.
What's the
grandmother?
mix?
Grandmother did.
My mom used to make it from a mix. I'm not sure if it was Bisquick or something.
Bisquick would be
but it was
my mom used.
It was yellow batter,
Mm-hmm.
and you dropped it in. And if you cooked it long enough, that it would get a little crispy on the edge.
Yep.
And I love that. I love how it was soft and then went crispy.
I'll be honest, it was my dad who always made them, not my mom.
Yeah. Now, what made my grandmother special is that she would always fry bacon before, and she would use bacon fat instead of butter, and that added a whole nother level to the pancakes.
Chocolate chips ever?
No.
Occasionally, Dad would put chocolate chips in them.
Ice cream. That's the big one. Ice cream is a big one instead of putting butter. You just put a giant pat of ice cream, vanilla or whatever.
Wait. Say that again. Instead of what?
Ice cream instead of butter. Instead of doing a scoop of butter, you put a
on
scoop
your pancakes.
Yeah.
I guess I've seen that.
It's good. Don't give me the Vulcan eye twerk. You have that like.
What you're talking about? Lamarr made some crack about my look earlier when he's talking about I Just Eat. I can't help it. It's my face.
I'm not talking about you. I was talking about Lamarr because he had that like they had you have an exasperated
Lamarr
look.
is part Vulcan. That's true.
I'm picturing you take a scoop of ice cream and putting it in the fryer to make the pancakes, and I'm like, what are you thinking?
No, that's fried. Actually, that's fried ice cream. That's something that's different.
I was like, you can't replace butter with that.
No.
Like on my potato, my baked potato.
You make your pancakes and then you put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top.
I love that you've forgotten that Newman's Own is just showing up as your video right now.
Oh. Ha!
I'm just seeing like chicken lacropolis every time you talk.
Well, there's a balsamic chicken kebabs.
You know, it's funny. I eat that about twice a week at an Armenian restaurant when I go get my mail, and it is like the best. They have was basmati rice. It's not balsamic chicken. I get like chicken breast, but it's so fresh and succulent cut up, and then they give you I get the hummus, which I don't eat anyone's hummus, but I'll eat theirs. Theirs is amazing. And then they give you that fried tomato. I don't know, not fried. It's a tomato that's been grilled.
Yeah.
It's been grilled. Yeah, it's like it was when I first had it. I'm like, what is this tomato thing? What's up with this? And it's just a cultural thing, man. It's an amazing meal. And they promise on the sign of the place that you will not get heartburn.
All right.
Yeah, they say, and I never got it there.
There you go. It's the power of suggestion.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you go in like, oh, I'll show you. I'll get some heartburn.
I did try.
Ever since I stopped eating fast food, I've never had heartburn. And it's just like,
what do you consider fast food? Like,
I consider fast food like anything with a drive-through that you can have. That the restaurant will have a drive-through.
The Fat Burger near my house does not have a drive-through, so that's not fast food.
Yeah, that's not fast. No, if they take more than 10 minutes to make it, I think that's. I don't know, because there's some local restaurants that make really good food that I eat it because I don't want to cook. And I don't consider. I mean, they make it fast, but I don't consider it fast food.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you're getting someone in the middle of a rush hour, and they have like a bunch of hamburger patties, typically a restaurant will make the patties ahead of time unless they're super cheap and just buy it that way. Actually, that's not cheap. It's cheaper.
It's not cheap at all. Yeah.
So you get your own patties and they throw it out. It comes out. It's weird because some like McDonald's take like 20 minutes to get my order together. And it's just like, I want a double cheeseburger and fries.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, it's because they have a drive-through and they serve all the drive-through people first.
Oh, yeah, drive-through does. Oh, that's a trick I've learned the hard way at a Taco Bell. Is that because I look at the line and it's long, and I'm like, I'll just go in. Biggest mistake ever.
Taco Bell's always sound good, and then I get one, and they taste right for the first few bites, and then like, why did I buy it?
Oh yeah, same thing, but I just have to have the craving.
Yeah.
Good thing they don't have a White Castle here. It'll be over.
I just my constant response with Taco Bell is that people say, well, that's not real Mexican food," and I say, "Correct. That's not what I think of it as. It's Taco Bell. It's an entirely different category."
Thank you.
It's its own
I don't know why people make a big deal out of that. It's like I know what I'm eating.
You're like, no, I don't consider it Mexican food either. Yeah,
I don't. It's fine. I don't. Same thing with Panda Express. Not Chinese food.
Not Chinese food. No, exactly.
In fact, it's one of the. I don't want to get you in trouble for saying this because it might be recorded on YouTube. Someone might be watching. Is that Panda Express is one of the few foods that when I smell it, I sort of get pre-heartburn. Like I feel it.
All Roger saying no. I don't.
Yep. I'm not losing my brand deal with Panda Express. Panda Express, I love you. No, I don't have a brand deal with them.
Yet.
Not yet.
All right. Speaking of, not speaking of brand deals at all, but we are published. We are good to go. So thank you everyone for watching or listening. Talk to you soon.